All right, today we're featuring the Tracker Pro Team 175 TXV, and this is the 40th anniversary edition, 2018, but get this, 2.8 hours on this motor. This thing is pretty much brand new. There are really no scratches or damages or nicks or dings on the hull. There's some kind of weird thing where a little bit of this laminate came off. That's the maximum damage that you have to the hull here. So it's in excellent condition that way. It has a little bit of weathering from the outside as it sat for a little bit outside, but ultimately this thing is pristine condition. It's an awesome boat. We already did the video. You'll be able to see it running here as we ran it 40 miles an hour. It's pretty impressive. Let's go to the bow here. We have a 2-inch coupler here on the front. So 2-inch plug, 7 round with the plug. And then we have the safety chains, which are actually cables, but they're coated, so they're not putting a bunch of strands of rusty steel in your hand. And then a breakaway, we're talking 24 inches about, maybe a little bit more than 24 inches on folding out of the way to give you a little bit more room. 2-inch strap with the safety integrated strap into it. And this is coated with the Galvashield impact, and I'm just saying that because I saw that, which essentially is going to keep corrosion and make it look a lot better. The finish is pretty rad on it. It looks neat because it's kind of like a matte finish, but still kind of shiny. So we'll go there, going down the hull here, looking at it. I looked underneath, there's no scratches. You can get a shot underneath there. No scratches on it. Obviously, tires have no wear, they're in good shape. Lights all work on it. We have transducers mounted here on the back for the hook 4. We ran it out here already. Everything runs good on the engine. Pretty awesome engine, 75 horse, which is the max horsepower for this hull. This hull scoots, it moves, it's a very stable hull. You still even got all your factory stickers on it. This thing has pretty much got that all going on it. Let's see, going on, we have a bimini top here, which has the little quick release. Push these in, pull those out. Now you have it out, push this straight, and you can put it back in. It does take a little coordination. Put that in, flip it, and now it's locked back in. So you can remove this top quite easily if you're going to be in the rain or in the sun. Those are obviously a nice feature. That's a Lowrance on here, hook 4, color screen with GPS, and that checks out good. On the gauges here, it's got the RPMs, and then it's got your trim gauge right there. Both of those work. This one, I do not know what that is, so please tell me. And this one right here is your volts, and we were pushing 14 volts a run, which is perfect. And then our miles per hour, we hit 40 on here, and our fuel gauge works. It has 3/4 of a tank right now. Gas is good, it ran out great. Non-feedback steering here. Switches, we have the nav light to anchor here, and then we have the bilge pump there. And then we have an accessory here, which doesn't have anything. This guy right here goes to the accessory, the 12-volt plug. And then here's the aerator live well here. So you can put it on a timer, or you can run it continuous for the pump. And then you have a timer continuous as well for the recirculate. So you have your fill and aerate and the recirculate, which will pump out too. Okay, so that's it. A big nice windshield with the 40th anniversary, 1978 to 2018. Come on. Let's jump up here and I'll show you all the different compartments. So we've got these little compartments, and these are drain out. They're lined, so those are rad. Here's the live well here. So it's good size, and it's already got the drains in it. You just put the plug in it to keep it from to running out, and then it'll fill up to the levels, and then it runs out at that point. And we have another one of these. This is just the exact same thing as the other side for storage here. Here's where all the rigging sits at, with the 21-gallon fuel tank in here. And then we have our trolling motor battery, and then our main battery here. Easily accessible in the back for rigging. Going forward, there's a little step on the back of this seat, which makes it easier so you're not stepping on the seat itself or over that. That lays it down and gives you a little tread right there. And then on this side, there is a compartment here for storage, as well as that's where the fire extinguisher sits. And then on the floor here, there are a couple of cup holders right there in the floor. Easy to get to. Sitting in it, I'm 6'1". Getting in there is just right. I can stretch my legs all the way straight, which puts me in a good position. There's the horn. Puts in a good position. And then obviously you've got your really cool cell phone holder right there, so you can put your phone out and not have to dig into your pocket every time you need it, as well as you can put your data right there. Somebody messages or whatnot, you've got that right in front of you. So nice little gauge cluster here. Good to run. And then the ultimate rod storage compartment. It's on shock, so it stays up here. 7.5 foot rods, 6.5 foot. So it takes 6.5 foots, 2 7, and 1 8.5 foot open section through the middle here. So you've got lots of storage for rods out of the way and closed so that you are clear and shut. Now we also have a compartment up here, and this is all lined. This is all lined, and there's no way for anything to run out of there, so you can't lose stuff into the different compartments. There's another compartment on the side that is identical to it. Those two are matching identical storage compartments. So plenty of storage in this boat. Huge casting deck up here. You could really even fish a couple people up here as if you're casting. You could do that. Nice chair, fishing. Oh man, this is great. Okay, and then we have the MinnKota straps here. This will release the motor. Oh, that won't release. So that's just your safety strap. Then you can release the motor here. Pulling this, that'll unlock, deploy, and then the same way to retrieve it. It'll find its way to the side, lay back down. That makes it pretty easy to get in and out with the 45-pound thrust 12-volt MinnKota. So that's 45 pounds of thrust and 12 volts. And that battery's in the back. It's a big deep cycle Group 27. This has a tilt trim switch up here, so you can see the motor go up and down a little bit. It's hooked up to the, it also has that. It's hooked up to a motor transom saver in the back. And then you have the ability here to steer and control this from the front, or right here in the front. Moving around is pretty easy on this. All around, so a pretty neat boat. I know it's designed specifically for bass and crappie and casting fishing and stuff, which is all around our area here. But we ran it. It runs really great. It's very stable. No feedback steering. You can turn the steering to any point and let go, and the boat will hold in that position, which is kind of rare for cable steering boats. I liked that. It hopped on plane about 2.2 seconds, so it's quick to get out of the hole. And as you can watch next here, here's the operating video of us using it on the water, so that you know everything's copacetic, but the boat is ready to go at this point. And so hopefully we can make this boat yours. We're gonna go through the runs real quick and change. We already talked about the layout and all the accessories. We just want to test everything here. We already went ahead and turned on the recirculator and the fill here, so we've got both of those running. They look like they're pumping away really strong, really good. So that's the live well area and aeration, because you can turn it to just aeration, so that you don't have to keep pumping water in, or you can do both, because you don't want the water to get too warm on your fish. And so let's go ahead and test the engine. Startup on it was perfectly good. Quick crank of the key and it fired off. So that was excellent. And right now we're just doing that. Our charging, it looks like we're at 14 volts, so the charging is working. Fuel, we have plenty of fuel. It shows 3/4 of a tank at this point, and then our RPMs is working, as well as our trim is working. We'll go ahead and run the trim all the way down, and then it hit exactly at the bottom of the gauge, so the trim is good as well. So we're just gonna run it around real quick, see how the hydrodynamics and stuff are on it, and make sure everything works good, and that it is propped properly and has the right amount of pitch. So would you hop down in the seat here and we'll give it a run, then we'll test all the other items here. Okay, adding a little bit of throttle. I'm gonna bring it up to 2,000 RPMs. It's a 75 horse Mercury. add a little bit of power to it here. It's 2,000, so I'm just gonna give it a little bit more. Bring it to about 3,000 RPMs right there, and the boat seems to really be moving out, but it's not tipping over yet. It's not tipping to the point where it's planing on its own. Feels like it's got a non-feedback steering, which means that it will grab a little bit. Yeah, it's a safety steering, so these won't let go. As you can see, it's gaining speed on its own. I'm gonna flip us into a U-turn here. We're gonna put it into a pretty tight turn. This is at 3,000 RPMs, so we're only about halfway there on the throttle. Why? Let's see how it does through this wake here. It might beat us up a little bit with the flatter bottom. Not bad. It is a very stable platform. This thing seems to hold out perfect, and nothing in the wheel. This wheel, you turn it, it stays. Look, I can turn it, it stays. Everything on it is tight that way. Okay, we're barely out of the break-in period on this boat, so we're not going to wrap it out for very long, but we will give it a quick run, full throttle. But as for the break-in instructions, you don't want to go over full throttle, or you don't want to go full throttle for over any extended period of time. It's just broken through the break-in period at this point, the initial couple hours. So let's go ahead and do a dead stop start. Trim's all the way down, and I'm going to go ahead and pin it all the way. Here we go. 1, 2, and we're on plane. It just dropped on the plane in just over 2 seconds. To a turn. I'm going to GPS that just to make sure it's accurate. Turn it around here and head on back. And put it into a turn. I'm going to drop it down. Hard turn, lots of G-force. It's going to slive a little bit, and then we're going to flip it around, opening it back up. It looks like we're going to get it wide open RPMs here. Wakes. There we go. 5,000 RPMs. Awesome. I like the way this turns. You go into a turn on the back. 40 miles an hour on there, on the GPS. I guess I could have just looked at this GPS, but okay, we've got our fish finder here, clear view. It's a Hook 4X, and it looks like we've got some bottom contours here. Wow, I like driving this boat. It's super controlled, very easy, like nothing's squirmy on it. Like you don't worry about anything getting out of control. It's everything's tight that way. Even at full speed there, at 40 miles an hour is pretty cool, or pretty quick. That's scooting along. The 75 horsepower is good and smooth. Yeah, so for the overall operations, I think we're good. I'm going to go ahead and neutral here. I'm going to go ahead and kill it. There you go. Motor off, restart. There's a restart there. Pretty much simple, easy, all around setup. In and out. There's forward. I'll go ahead and I already did back out, but I'm going to go ahead and do it here. I'm going to back down here. Okay, no problem. Let's go try that bow mount real quick too, see how that does. So there's a bow mount here on the front, and we've got a retrieve there. So, oh, there is a little Velcro trap on the front here, so that things doesn't get moved. Okay, and then you just grab this guy here, that will release, and then you can just let go. Oh, it's that cable, that strap, you got to move it out of the way. Okay, so we got that. Now we're in the way, so I'm going to go ahead and add about 5. And this will give us, so if you look at the top there, that's going to have a yellow indicator here of where it's at. And then you can turn that left and right all the way back. So see, I've got 180 now flipped back, and I can flip it all the way forward 180 the other side, just with your thumb right here, and you can do that standing up here as well.